Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass.
And what's it gonna do?
It doesn't matter how you're doing. Woo! Wheeling, dealing, limousine like jet flying.
Can you dig it, sucker?
Would you please shut the hell up?
You don't know what hard times are, Daddy.
The cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Look at the human rubble.
What up, what up? Welcome to episode 33 of Keep the Kayfabe. I'm Mike, sitting here with my boys as usual, ready to talk some wrestling. Usually this is the most wonderful time of year leading up to the weekend of WrestleMania. I haven't really caught in that itch quite yet, but maybe with our discussion, maybe I will get a little pumped up from the boys. But we did have a lot of great action on AEW Dynamite this past Wednesday that I want to get into with the fellas. But before we do that, let's introduce the guys here. Up in Glendale, someone who keeps it regal, Mr. Steve Grobschmidt. How are you, Grobby?
I'm not answering to that name anymore. I have a different name now, and it's Mr. Kennedy. Kennedy.
God.
That's very nice. I like that a lot. Very appropriate. I love it. Let's go down to Bayview. Talk to someone who keeps it freshly squeezed. Mr. Matt Michelson. How are you, Matt?
Yeah, get down here to Bayview and come get on the Whoo train.
Ooh, yeah. It is warming up outside, so I'm sure the scantily clad are out and about down by the lakefront. So
I don't know.
yeah,
I've been down
Milwaukee
there
is
yet.
the place to be. All right, let's stay down in Bayview. Oh my God, it's Charlie Michael.
Well. You gotta go back in the carts for that little ECW Joel Gertner.
For a minute, I'm like,
Well,
be singing the Big Show's theme.
Well,
Yeah.
Google
no more
Joel,
BS.
Google Joel Gertner's promos, and he always gets the crowd amped up.
I bet Paul Heyman had something to do with that with him too,
yeah.
probably.
Oh
'cause
yeah.
I think
something,
Heyman
yeah.
probably stole that later on. Be like, I've always liked that. I'm going to work it into my shit too.
Gertner's
actually-
great. Gertner's great.
Paul Heyman's actually the first guy that popped into my head because the other night I was rewatching Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar from WrestleMania 31. I think
yeah.
the one in San Jose.
You got that much free time in your life?
Yeah, dude. It was late. Peacock was calling my name, and I was like, "What am I going to
You
watch?"
don't have to defend yourself, Matt. If you want to watch that match, you can watch
Exactly.
that match.
If you don't want to watch Will Ospreay versus win the championship,
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's Ibushi. That's your call, man.
I know. In hindsight, that would have been the better choice. I think what it was I recently listened to this podcast that talked about the stiffest wrestling matches of all time, and this was not one of them. But Brock Lesnar had probably half the list, I would say.
And did Stan Hansen have the other half?
No, actually, Vader did.
Vader.
Vader.
Yeah.
Still Vader. Yeah. I popped out in a match, put it back in, and finished the match.
Yeah, that was the number one match on the list, which I
Yeah.
still have to
Yeah.
hunt that one down and find it. But
And that was
Charlie
with Stan
and-
Hansen, wasn't it?
Was it?
I think it
I think
was.
it might have been.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't remember who his opponent was, but yeah, I'll have to watch that. I still haven't brought myself to watch it, but I will.
I think it's on YouTube.
It's
is
there. Yep.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. But Charlie, I'm glad you mentioned Kota Ibushi and Will Ospreay. Supposedly, Will Ospreay. So for those of you who don't follow New Japan, is now the IWGP Heavyweight Championship and the first British IWGP.
Yep. It was foreign. Yeah.
That's big.
Ibushi lost it in his first offense, which is
Yeah.
not very common back there.
No. And one other thing I just heard is Will Ospreay's already called out two other wrestlers
Yeah,
for potential challengers. Drew McIntyre
Yeah, I
being
heard
one of
that.
them, not by
Yep.
name, but hinting at who it might be. And then he specifically is calling out CM Punk, which
Oh, damn.
which we'll
Well-
see. CM Punk has always said he would do it. He would get back into wrestling for the right scenario and a
Yeah.
huge amount of money. And I could see both of those things happening here. So
Yeah.
That would
we have to wait
be
and see what
great
comes.
for New Japan.
He could do like a Jericho did when he just popped over to get, when he wrestled Omega, doing those special pop overs for a few million bucks.
Isn't Osprey's next opponent already lined up to be Okada?
Yeah, well, he called out Okada. Yeah,
Yeah,
so it'll be
but
good.
still,
because
it'll be
Okada-
build to
yeah.
something. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it'll be
Let's-
good because Okada's like the big face for all the Japan fans over there. So it'll be a good little
Let's
faction chase.
let's just say this New Japan AEW partnership synergy continues.
Yeah.
And what Matt said, having the right amount of money with the right situation, Tony Khan has some deep pockets, and he is like Mr. Bring My Fantasy to life in the ring. I can see maybe Tony Khan brokering that deal.
You know,
It'd be
they say,
awesome.
guys, they say, the rumor, it's just talk, but I don't know if it's true or not. But they're saying Ibushi lost it so he could go to AEW and partner up with the Golden Lovers with Kenny again. So who knows how
also a
true it is?
possibility.
It's all talk, but you'll have to see. But it makes for interesting TV.
It's fun, yeah.
Yep.
Definitely.
And fantasy
Well, anything's-
booking.
Anything's possible in
Oh,
this day and
boy.
age with wrestling. I mean, did we think MJF would ever turn on the Inner Circle? Of course we did. But did we see him creating his own stable known as the Pinnacle? That is FTR, Sean Spears, and Wardlow with Tully Blanchard along with them. This last week on Dynamite has been really entertaining. Anytime this faction gets on TV, I'm immediately locked in. MJF is hilarious. I mean, I'm not really crazy about the name Pinnacle because there's a lot of things in life that exist right now that is like Pinnacle is used for mediocre stuff like golf balls, vodka.
Yep.
Pinnacle
None
golf
of them are
balls.
good. Yeah, they're
Golf balls
actually
were
pretty
actually
cheap.
the first thing I thought of when you said Pinnacle.
Well, then they have that whipped cream vodka that's in that blue bottle. They have like all kinds of crazy flavors, and it's like $6 a bottle.
Oh, it's the new team's name is Pinnacle. I thought it was Pinochle, the card game.
If Tully was a little older, maybe.
No,
They'd have
Tully. Tully. Nobody knows what that means. We're not calling it the name.
God damn it. Him and Arnie used to play Pinochle back in the day, and where they got it. But anyway, yeah. So last week on Dynamite, we saw Pinnacle in the dressing room of the former dressing room of Inner Circle. And MJF is so damn good. I still can't wrap my head around that this guy's only like, what, is he 24, 25?
I think
Yeah,
yeah,
thereabouts.
I want to say 25
crazy.
last time we checked.
I mean, I don't remember what I was doing at 25, but it's nowhere near what this
You
guy
weren't
is.
on. You weren't on international television. That's probably for sure.
That's a good start.
Yeah.
But the confidence that this guy has when the camera's rolling and he has the floor, he's magic. I love what they're doing with we got our own designers. We're gonna make this room nice, posh it up. I loved where it was going, and then he basically called the locker room a shithole, which is hilarious. And then he goes to the bathroom and we get rid of this disgusting smell. He opens the door, and it was almost very Looney Tune-ish, where when the Looney Tune goes to the door, and it's like, on second thought, I'm gonna go the other way because the enemy is right behind the door. The Inner Circle was there, standing as statues with angry looks on their face. MJF closes the door, hesitates, and goes to the front, and runs into Jake Hagar. It's just kind of fun shit.
It was fun. Yeah.
Definitely a fun
cartoony.
segment. This was probably the first time I was actually excited when I saw Jake Hager.
Yeah, it was kind of a cartoony bit, but then
Yeah.
it broke into something that was actually pretty cool. Like when they did get into fighting backstage, it did have some intensity the way that it was shot. Sammy Guevara kind of took on Sean Spears, and that could be a potential decent matchup. Then you have the other one that makes sense, Santana and Ortiz going up against FTR. And then I love this, Jake Hagar put Wardlow through the massage table, which is hilarious. I thought that was awesome. That was kind of a new object to get worked in for backstage. So, MJF and Jericho, they got their thing going. That looks like they're going to keep this going for a little bit. But, it'll definitely make for entertaining TV, I think.
And that,
I'm going to take the Debbie Downer route a little bit on this angle when you're done,
Okay.
Steve.
I was just gonna say, and Dax Harwood on of FTR, like, dude, you know, you got
Oh,
busted
yeah.
open. He had
That's
like
right.
he had to have a fair amount of stitches put in for that.
I was
That was a
actually
cool
going to say
bit.
the same thing. I just happened to catch that moment where he was just bleeding like crazy
way,
from the
yeah.
side of his head. Yeah, and you could tell it wasn't bladed or anything.
Yeah, no, it was hard way.
So yeah, big moment. This was probably one of the better backstage brawls I've seen in a while. Yeah, there was some cartoony bits to it, but there was some original bits, and it definitely felt intense. So I think they did a good job with it for no other reason than to set up future feuds.
I'm suspecting we're gonna have a rare AEW directed Charlie's Corner here.
Oh no, just a little. I mean, I can't take originality for it because I heard it today and I thought about it from James E. Cornette.
Oh God.
but he was saying that, and I never thought about it. That so nobody used the bathroom at all, so they were just in there hanging out in their bathroom forever, and nobody had to use a bathroom. Yeah, so I mean,
That's
I know
what's
it's
great about
wrestling. I know it's wrestling. So, but and that part is. But the part I really thought about that it's the good guys already beat up Pinnacle, so it's like, how do you keep the feuds better? Is when the bad guys keep overcoming the good guys.
I would suspect
And
that
then
when they get in the ring, Pinnacle's gonna beat him.
Well, I hope so, but you like when they keep beating them for a while and then they finally overcome to get them. It was cool to see him jump them and get them, but it was like it'd have been even better if they could have milked it for a little bit longer.
Sure.
I would agree with you on that, Charlie, a little bit. I think personally, and this is just me, but I love when you get these, what I like to call mini payoffs as the feud progresses. So like the way I would think about it is AEW usually knows what they're doing. So in this case, my hunch is this was a great payoff, but in a much longer term story. I think whenever I think of WWE specifically, they tend to do that where you have this heel constantly getting over on the babyface until, 6 months later, and the babyface might win. And even then they might not. But by the time that happens, I don't even care anymore. I've usually lost interest, mostly because they usually screw up the storyline anyway. But regardless of that, I don't know. I would disagree a little bit on that, but I totally get your point.
I didn't think about it, but yeah.
I think I like where your head's at there, Charlie. But what I do notice is that Inner Circle have kind of grunged it up a little more uniform. Like they kind of changed their look to be uniformly like they look like Summer of Sam, like Street Fighter kind of guys now. So them, I automatically think they're the heels, even though Pinnacle got the first jump on them. But I've kind of noticed the pattern in AEW where it's pretty evenly balanced week to week who gets over on who. They almost take turns. We saw it with like Sting and Darby Allin, and then Team Taz. They kind of like alternated weeks. I think Thunder Rosa and Shida did the same thing. Britt Baker. I don't know. I think it'll kind of go back and forth in a tennis match style until the big pay-per-view. And I think, Pinnacle will be the ones that overcome just because Jericho is the leader of the other one. But we did have a big heel turn coming out of the mid-card area of the last week's show. We saw QT Marshall.
Is that really how his name is pronounced? I noticed Shivani says that. And
Yeah.
Is it Marshall?
Yeah.
I always thought it was QT Marshall, but
No, it's Marshall. Maybe that's the way he just pronounces, but when he was in Ring of Honor, it was Marshall. Yeah, so I don't know why it's that way, but that's what he calls him. That's what he calls himself.
I used to call Leroy Butler earlier.
Because he used to go by it, and then he changed it.
So Leroy,
kind of like QT Marshall.
Yeah.
So once you like earn a certain amount of credit, you can do that. Once Leroy Butler invented the Lambeau Leap, Roy. Anyway, yes, we are based out of Wisconsin. Everybody who's
but
listening.
Not everyone on the call's a Packer fan.
No.
But anyway, QT Marshall, another former best friend of Cody. Cody like loses a lot of best friends for being like the head of the company. You think you want to stick close with them where the money's at. But kind of QT Marshall took some of the budding stars that were kind of in qualifying school of AEW, and he's kind of taking them under the wing, kind of like in a Star Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi, and now Anakin Skywalker took the young little Jedis with him, and now they're feuding. It's kind of, and they kind of, I mean, Steve, you could probably speak to this better than all of us because we know you're a Star Trek guy and a Star Wars guy. Was that some of your first reactions?
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of the classic, like somebody corrupts the students and turns them against the teacher. Yeah, I feel like that's a common like sci-fi element. No, yeah. And yeah, it's funny you said that about Cody, because I'd like to think it's really clever writing on AEW's part, because it's like Cody is like this, larger than life figure in the company, and we all know that he runs, in part runs it, but the way he's played his character is not always very likable. You know what I mean? Like he straddles the line of heel here and there, and Sting called him out for it. Other people have called him out. So it's almost like he's the good guy, and this was a big heel turn. And there's also a little bit of that like QT had a point kind of thing too, which makes it a little bit of an edge to the story, which I like, and I hope they're doing it on purpose. I think they are. And it's like, Cody's not squeaky clean. So I don't know. I think this is the first sign of something interesting. I always, week after week, I'm like, what's the point of this? I understand like behind the scenes, but on screen, like the Nightmare Family seemed to have no purpose. It was just a bunch of people that just hung out and happy-go-lucky and looked out for each other. So this, I mean, if nothing else, this blows that up, and now there's a nice built-in feud that should last some time and have some good matches and stuff.
I'm surprisingly into this more than I thought it would be, and I think part of it's because I happened to catch the premiere episode of AEW Dark Elevation. And I think Lee Johnson had a match on that, and QT Marshall was.
Is that Shoddy Lee?
Or Shoddy Lee? Yeah.
No, it's just to confirm, because I saw that too.
Yeah, it was a good match. But there was this weird bit at the end where QT kind of walks off and leaves him hanging.
Yeah,
and it was just weird. I haven't really followed QT at all since he's been in AEW, so I didn't really know what I was seeing at the time, but I could sense that there was some turmoil.
Well, and if you guys remember too, like where it all kind of started, I think was the pay-per-view when it was that tag team battle royal, and like he and Cody he and partner Goldust, Dustin got into it a little bit, and then he just eliminated himself out of it and walked away. So yeah, he's been doing stuff like this for a while.
Yeah, AEW does a really good job of dropping little hints like this along the way. Like Mike, you mentioned earlier with the formation of the Pinnacle, like none of us saw MJF forming his own faction because he's been with the Inner Circle for a while. But if you think back to before he joined the Inner Circle, I remember one of the promos he cut on Dynamite, he talked about potentially finding his own stable, and that was really his next step. And he did that, we thought, when he found the Inner Circle, but that whole time he was actually building his own stable or finding his own stable. So there's a lot of really subtle detail.
Or what, actually, credit to Tony Schiavone and all those guys, they brought it up when they went back to one of the first nights, when post pandemic, when they first started putting wrestlers around the ring. And then I remember, it was like early into that, where inexplicably MJF and Sean Spears were kind of cozying up at ringside and with Tully. And it was like, and then you never saw that again for a long. And now whether they planned it back then or not, they did a nice job of pointing to that as like the first sign. And I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's a good point. Hey, you got to wonder how much of this is actually plotted out storytelling versus them, connecting dots that they just kind of threw onto the page.
Either way, it's good. Yeah.
Right.
We do live in an age of QAnon. So maybe they're using that psychology. Like if something sticks, we can take credit. If it doesn't,
it's got to be true. Yeah.
It's whatever. So
WWE's been masterful at that. They just reinvent history and then just act like they'll just change the narrative and act like whatever happened never happened. And that, I can't think of an example right now, but they've done that before, where they just, something happened that they didn't want people to remember, so they just change the narrative.
Real quick, have you guys seen that QAnon doc on HBO Max at all? Have you started it or seen
no,
it?
I started.
No, I
I
haven't.
started watching on one on CNN. Is it pretty good?
Oh, it's awesome. So
I gotta watch it then. Yeah.
the finale was on last night, I think. I watched the finale this morning, but I'm gonna watch it a second time through because it is really well done. It's really good journalism. It's what it is, and I just love documentaries.
Same
and
here. Yeah.
check it out.
Pretty crazy. I'll have to check that out. If you guys are also looking for something on HBO Max to check out, I definitely, if you want to watch Godzilla versus Kong, that's on you. I'll just say that. But I will also add, to bring it back to wrestling, there's been some great memes on the internet where anything can be made great by adding Daniel Bryan to it and making it a
Oh,
triple.
I saw a
so
couple
it,
of those.
so
Yeah.
it should be Kong versus Godzilla versus Daniel Bryan.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw someone
Very
had one too. It was like another one's like Stone Cold versus The Rock, and they versus Daniel Bryan, like in the old WrestleMania.
Dude, somebody, did you see that Andrade and Charlotte like bedroom pic or
Yeah, I
something?
saw that one too. Yeah.
No.
Somebody, okay, well, Andrade, like, I guess
Tweeted
tweeted,
it, yeah.
a picture of him and Charlotte, like they were probably doing the thing.
Just finished up his thing.
And everybody's just like, we don't want to see this shit. Everybody's pissed. But then somebody made a picture of Andrade and the picture of Andrade and Charlotte, and then Daniel Bryan poking his head in there too.
That's awesome.
I think
I didn't see that one. I got to see that one.
it
That's a
might be
great-
on
Oh my
Maxwell James Friedman's
Oh,
on
Facebook.
Yeah.
thing.
who is just a savage. So another great follow.
A triple threat indeed.
Indeed.
Right. Well, speaking of great triple threats, there was another great AEW Dynamite match that featured the Lucha Bros and Laredo Kid versus Kenny Omega, with the Good Brothers, accompanied by Don Callis, the human flaming pile of trash that he's
Yeah,
been getting the
I just
nickname
love the
of.
venom that he gets.
Oh, it's great. Matt, are you a believer yet, or are you still a hater?
Man, fuck that guy. No, I'm still a hater. Like, we
Which
talked about
means-
this,
Which means
several
it's
episodes-
working.
So
Yep.
several episodes back, I went on this rant about how Don Callis was really getting under my skin. And granted, a great wrestling heel should be able to do that, right? But I had some specific things that I remember airing to the group on the podcast. And the following week on Dynamite, Don Callis kept trying to jump in. It was right after the exploding barbed wire death match, and he kept trying to jump in on Kenny Omega's promo, and he caught a lot of heat afterwards from everybody, especially like internet critics, you name it, just for like, he almost brought the whole segment down a little bit. And I think that's kind of what I was trying to drive at on our last podcast. Now, maybe this is me going backwards, trying to connect dots that are already there, like we just talked about, but that is my specific gripe with Don Callis. And I feel like he just kind of keeps doing that. Like Kenny Omega, and I said this last time I went on this rant, Kenny Omega's fantastic as a heel. I think he'd be even better as a heel without Don Callis. And I still stand by that argument.
I'm not with you.
I'm not
love
with you.
Don Callis.
The good.
I mean-
the best friends are in disagreement on this.
Mm-mm. Sleeping in separate rooms on the sleepover, I guess, or calling mom to take me home because the friends are fighting.
Wow.
You guys ever have to do that? Like, we were best friends at the start of a sleepover, then you guys got pissed and be like, "Mom, come pick me up." I'm not.
I'm thinking
sleeping at this
about. I'm
guy's
thinking about that right now after what Matt said about Don Callis.
house.
Hey, Steve, all you have to do, there's a big red button on this Zoom call. You hit that, the problem's solved.
No.
I don't know. I still love like what Don Callis brings to AEW.
Same here, yeah.
He keeps like it. He keeps it like real, like down
Yeah.
to earth. Even though AEW is like a big show, like doing so well, like way better than anybody probably could have thought. He still brings like this, like trashiness to the show, like where it feels still indie or grungy or dirty, like kind of like an underground show.
And I love how
what-
and I love how disgusted that Jim Ross and Tony
Yeah.
Schiavone get with him. It's hilarious.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I will say he brings out the best in Jim Ross, because I
Yeah.
did notice that was always the best thing about JR back in the day, is Jerry
Yes.
Lawler would say something and JR would just be so put off by him
Yeah.
that he would
Yeah.
just go off. And that was what made him great. And I feel like he hasn't had that recently. He's
No,
just kind
he
of
hasn't
calling
had that,
matches
no.
and he almost seems bored by it and almost like he's being
Right.
cynical. But
Yeah.
yeah, you make a great point with that. Okay. I'll give you that, Steve.
Yeah. I mean, don't blame JR. I mean, the guy has literally done and seen it all on all aspects of wrestling. Plus, he's
Yeah.
getting over there old, so probably his spark has kind of dwindled a little bit. And if Don brings back that old JR, God bless him. Speaking of God bless us, Ty Conti wrestled this last Wednesday, and she is still my favorite young budding star of AEW. Her and Wardlow. If I had to pick a male budding star that I'm a favorite of, it would be Wardlow. And the male side, Ty Conti is my number one. Why? I'll tell you why. Not only is she beautiful, athletic, and, you know, for all those reasons on the surface, she is kicking ass in the ring. I mean, she is fierce in the ring. These leg kicks, these knees, she's delivering, and she seems super focused when she goes in there. But the other thing, outside of the ring, we follow her. Keep the Kayfabe follows her on Instagram. Her IG page is awesome. Every morning, she wakes up and drinks her coffee and dances to some music, smiling, gets into the gym. She takes walks on the beach. She's just a ball of positivity. Dude, is Ty Conti over in your guys' book as much as me?
I want that life for real.
Yeah.
She's over in my book for sure. I think what's awesome. So everything you just said, Mike, is 100%. And that's great. Like, she's fantastic. As far as like Instagram goes, all the surface level stuff. Yes. In the ring, she's been doing awesome lately. And I think what's really exciting is it kind of reminds me of that feeling you get back in the day when you'd watch NXT and you could sense that a star was on the rise. Like, there's no question in my mind that Ty Conti is going to be somebody in that women's division, probably within the next 6 to 12 months, I would say.
For sure.
But what's exciting is we can see that as fans. So we now, for the next 6 months, starting now, get to go on this ride where we get to see how she does in the ring, how she develops, how she gets better. Like, her matches are only going to get better. Eventually she'll be given the opportunity to have some awesome feud with, who knows, someone like Britt Baker, Thunder Rosa, you name, one of their top tier female talents. And I'm confident she'll deliver when given the chance because she's done it again and again. She had a great match with Nyla Rose a couple weeks ago on Dynamite. So she's in a great spot. I love it. I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but is she the number one contender at the moment?
Is.
Okay.
She is.
So, and Hikaru Shida is still the women's champ. So, is she going to drop the belt to Ty Conti? Probably not, but I think it'll at least kind of help keep that trajectory going. One thing AEW does really well is make the women look great in defeat, and all their wrestlers for that matter. So, so far, I'm on board with you, Mike. I think she's doing awesome. I want to keep seeing more of it.
I really think her best friend Anna Jay went down to injury, and I think AEW's plan was to pair those two as a female women's tag team powerhouse, and that would have been great, honestly, because Anna Jay is a star as well. But Ty Conti is showing that she can do it on her own, and I just love, again, her positivity. She can't help but smile, and it just genuinely looks like she's having a blast out there. But also, she trains like a badass beast. So I'm really excited to see where her career is going. She had a great match this last Wednesday, and I can't wait for see more of her. But another person that we haven't seen a lot of was Trent from the Breast Friends. He was also injured as well, right?
Trent and Chris Statlander both were out for a long time, and they both came back.
Yeah.
So to close the show, which was kind of a gimmicky match, it was the Arcade Anarchy match. They keep doing these video game bits with Kip Sabian and Miro. I guess they're all big gamers, play into their personality, which is smart because Twitch is kind of popping off and it's a huge platform. So try to get some more gamers. They're doing all the right things to try to get more viewers watching the show. And this match, AEW, what I do like about the promotion a lot, they give everybody a shot, legitimately everybody a shot, compared to WWF, where every closing match on Raw is Alexa Bliss, Randy Orton, Fiend, or Roman Reigns doing something to somebody. I like how they kind of switch up what would be mid-card guys and give them an opportunity to do something cool. And this was a really cool match. I mean, yeah, the weapons that were used in it was unique. You never really seen it. So, I mean, you can't really gauge if it was a really great wrestling match at all, but the way that it was staged and executed, everybody did their jobs. Everybody showed up, but they did have great spots where the best friend's mom came down in the minivan and out steps Trent getting back in it. And then Chris Statlander pops out of the stuffed animal grab machine, hitting Penelope Cruz. So, I mean, this is just going to be a good, again, a good mid-card feud that's kind of budding because of this headline. It makes it more relevant, where when you would see Kip Sabian and Miro versus the Best Friends in Orange, I don't know. But it looks like the Best Friends took Chris Statlander, the alien, into their group now. So, again, AEW is all about strength in numbers. Why stop?
And then you can keep Statlander and Penelope feuding, and that's it just kind of incorporates that. It makes sense.
It kind of is smart to have like one female in every group, so you can put on female matches and then have like the men that are in the group be ringside, and then they can kind of get some shit in, get a little heat going there.
To your point, they're doing the exact same thing with the they got, I just lost her, the bunny, like now she's part of Matt Hardy's group. So it's like, you got kind of that representative across the divisions.
Yeah. Going, and Bunny's going up against Ty Conti too.
Yeah.
So
as part of the Dark Order, which she never was quote unquote a member of before, because that was a story months and months ago where she resisted joining them when they were kind of heels. But now I think the arcade match was a lot of fun. I think I'm kind of hoping at some point very, very, very soon they move Miro onto something else, because but he deserves it. I mean, but I think as far as this feud goes, that was a crowd pleasing match, because they had Trent come back, you had Statlander come back, two very popular people. It's nice to have the Best Friends working, like they're going to be back in the tag mix. Orange is always popular. Kip Sabian's kind of the weak link out of all of it, but I'm assuming at some point, especially with Miro, once again, Miro was super dominant, but he didn't take the pin. So I would imagine at some point, maybe even this Wednesday, he'll be like pissed off at Sabian for like being dead weight and turn on him or something. I kind of hope soon.
Yeah, they've been slowly building to that, I think. Unfortunately, I think it's been a little too slow, because I agree. I would love to see something come from that.
Miro needs to just be unleashed.
For sure. I like you, Steve. I really like this match too. I think it was really interesting because prior to Chris Statlander getting injured and leaving, I think she was over with the fans that are super hardcore dedicated to AEW and just think, oh, everybody's over. I didn't think like she was, anything too great. She just kind of got lost in the shuffle with a lot of the women's division. But now that we're starting to see some stars emerge in the women's division, I think it's going to become a little more clear. But it's amazing. When she came out of that one arcade machine, that did more for her than anything else she's done in the past, which is crazy. All of a sudden, like just the re-debuting of her instantly made her leaps and bounds better than she was before. So hopefully they capitalize on that while everything's got some momentum behind it. Separate from this match, one thing I did want to mention, I was actually thinking about this the other day. I think AEW, amongst all the great things that they do that we put them over for on this show, one thing I think they've done really well is successfully manage a huge roster of talent. And part of that is exactly what you said, Steve. They've just done a really good job of taking people from all these different groups and working them into matches in one way or another. Like, think about it. If you have the Inner Circle and the Pinnacle, that's like 12 to 15 guys just between those two factions. And one segment gets all of them TV time, it gets them storyline development, and it could just be a couple minutes, right? And you see that regularly on AEW, like Chris Statlander magically appearing in this match, or Trent returning in the minivan with Sue. Like, just all these little moments that make the match that much more exciting, give everybody a little something to do on the show. I really wish WWE could learn from this, because their roster is just massive, and there's so many guys, and that's something they've been doing the last few weeks, is showing the guys in the back locker room that Drew McIntyre wants to just make fun of and make examples of. Why not put them in similar scenarios like this, right? Like where you have kind of gang warfare going on. So hats off to AEW for doing all the right things all the time. This match was just yet another example of that.
Charlie, did you have anything?
I said it all, dude.
Nice.
You guys said it all, dude.
I wanted to see if you guys noticed this too. This wasn't on our script for tonight, but so what's his name? Zero Mero.
Penta.
He's been doing more promos.
Yeah,
in,
with the translator.
Spanish.
That's
Yeah,
awesome. That's awesome.
This is what I want to say to you guys. Who's got more pressure to deliver on the promo, Penta or the translator? Because the translator has to stand there and have a mean look on his face.
Yeah, he's kind of getting into it.
Oh,
like,
he
he
loves
has
it. He's
to.
saying it right. I think it's great.
Yeah, I think they're Spanish announcers, so I mean,
Yep.
he's got
Oh,
some
is he?
flair to him. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
So,
he's
okay.
yeah.
He's good.
He's in the biz. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, I thought it was just like his buddy that was
No.
like, I want to bring him with me. This is my boy.
I
Get
don't
him
know
on
what
TV.
they're doing with Penta really works, because it's partially using the translator and kind of in that like an arrogance where he doesn't want, he can speak English, but he doesn't want to. But then when he does speak English, it's like he's really like, I don't know, he's hilarious. That guy is awesome.
Plus,
And a guy did a good take on that too. Is like, if you ever watch a UFC fight and the guy doesn't speak English, they always have the translator, and they're very vanilla.
Yeah.
Like this guy
Yes.
gets into a heel
Yeah,
mode,
exactly.
so he makes it so much more better. Well, Penta says,
Yeah,
he's
Penta
like-
says, yeah.
he's one of my favorite guys on the show now.
Oh,
Like,
Penta?
yeah.
yeah. No, I mean the translator.
translator.
yeah, totally.
That
Oh,
whole
yeah.
pairing is
Yep,
great.
I love it.
I don't know what the hell Penta's saying, but I like
Well, he
whenever I
delivers
see
it.
like the guy start nodding and like
Yep,
the crazy
exactly,
look in his
yeah.
eyes, like
Yeah,
just wait
yeah.
till he's done what he has to say to you
Yeah.
English speaking people.
Oh,
You
yeah.
fucking gringos.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Totally.
Yeah.
We
That's-
Mike, I think you and I went to a Mondo Lucha show here in Milwaukee a couple of years ago, and I remember the main event was John Morrison,
Yeah,
Johnny
dude.
Mundo at the time,
Yep.
and then Phoenix and Pentagon in a triple
Yeah,
threat
dude.
match.
Yep.
It was just insane for like a local indie
Yeah.
show.
Oh yeah.
Who was Johnny Mundo's partner? Do you remember? Was it his wife?
Yeah, she
Valkyrie?
was there ringside, Taya Valkyrie. Yeah.
Yeah, she was there.
Yep. But I remember after the show, we were lucky enough to go to the merch stand, and Phoenix and Penta were at the merch stand.
Damn
And
cool.
I was such a fan of Pentagon at the time, and I
That's
still am, but
awesome.
at the time, he was my guy. So
Damn.
I remember walking up to him and saying something, and Phoenix kind of reaches over and he goes, "Hey man, he doesn't really speak any English. Like, what do you want to tell him?"
Oh, he doesn't? Oh shit.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
and this was probably like, I want to say 3 years ago now, 3
No,
years ago.
it was like 5. It was like
Was it that
5 years
long
ago now.
Man, time
At least
flies.
because
Yeah,
I was
it
still doing
does.
the coffee cart.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so it would have been. But anyway, regardless, Pentagon at the time did not speak like any English whatsoever. So
Man.
there is some truth to this act. Obviously he knows more English now than he used to,
Yeah.
or he's getting his lines fed to him. Either way, I think this gimmick with the translator, agreeing with you guys, totally works. I think it's awesome because it gives Pentagon a voice. Like his
Yeah.
matches, he can clearly do a lot in his matches, but you can only do so much, right?
Yeah,
At some
you gotta
point, you got to
talk, yeah.
build up the conflict. You got to
Yeah.
get people a reason to tune into the match, and
The hate you or
they
love
found
you.
a way to do that.
Yep.
Plus, you got that badass Ray Phoenix T-shirt, Matt.
Damn.
Yes.
Nice.
Before Ray Phoenix became probably the top
Jealous.
wrestler in the world.
Yep.
Oh,
That's
dude,
I mean, Ray Phoenix is
That's
him
awesome.
and Will Ospreay.
love
I
that.
think are the top two. I mean,
Oh, easily,
right now,
easily, dude, easily.
and we knew it at the time. Like that was back when Lucha Underground was the coolest thing
Yeah.
ever in my book. And like just meeting those guys in person was so crazy, and especially Phoenix. Like I remember watching Lucha Underground and seeing Phoenix in matches back in like 2015 and thinking this guy is on another level compared to every other person on this show. And we're talking about guys like Ricochet or other people who you now see in AEW. So you know, he's only had time to get better and better.
Man, I wish I'd really watched that show then, because they had so many guys there. So I just thought it was some stupid crap. I didn't realize how good of a show it was. I wish I'd have watched it when it was.
Well,
when it
what's
first
his name?
Happened.
Matt Cross was supposed to be there. What was his name? Son of Anarchy or something like that?
Son of Havoc. Clever name.
Havoc. Sorry. Oh yeah, the TNT. Well, you know me and names. Come on. That was actually a good one. Really good one. Yeah, he was supposed to be there to be Johnny Mundo's partner, but I don't know, he couldn't show up. So I forget who Johnny Mundo's partner was, but it was just an unbelievable match. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Matt Cross.
Yeah, they booked those shows so good.
Mm-hmm.
Matt Cross just showed up, and I think Matt Cross was just on NWA Power last week.
Oh, was he?
Awesome.
Cool.
I'm a big Matt Cross fan. M-Dog.
Yeah, he's good.
Did I ever tell you guys this story? I sat behind Matt Cross's mom and grandmother at All In. The All In show.
You said that. Yep. Said that.
Dude,
yeah.
And so he led off the show, I think, versus MJF, was it? I think it might have been. But they were so nervous when she was up on the chair, like so proud. I mean, I was 20th row on the floor. I found a ticket like 3 hours before the show on StubHub for like $100, single ticket, super lucky. And I go in there, and these two babes are just, you know, freaking out to Matt Cross. And she's like, "That's my son and my phone's dead." I was like, "Do you want to use my phone to take pictures and I can send them to you or something?" Like, sure. She was like taking all these photos and stuff. But the best part was Matt Cross really kept the kayfabe and like made his arm look like it was broken for like the whole match, like 15 minutes. And their mom's like, "He never does this. I know it's hurt." And he's doing like all these like front handsprings and like elbow drops with the hurt elbow. And she's like, "Jesus Christ," going crazy. But then Matt Cross won, and his grandma, I mean, both of these women are like 4'5". His grandma like ran up to the front ringside, jumped on the barricade, and was just like going crazy, like Mick Jagger and Keith Richards were like there, like singing, you know, Satisfaction front row to her. Like she was so hyped, and it was just like the coolest thing. Like, what a great support system! How exciting for those two. And then his mom vanished for like 45 minutes. I think she smoked like 45 cigarettes outside because she was so nervous. She's just like, "I needed that. But thanks for letting me use your phone and stuff." I'm like, "Sure." But yeah, anyway, huge tangent there. I was able to tell that story to Matt Cross too after a Mondo Lucha show another year. I think that was the year me and you went, Charlie.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah.
Anywho. All right, so that was a great little rundown of what happened at AEW Dynamite this last Wednesday. We look forward to this Wednesday as usual. But we do have WrestleMania coming up this Sunday. We're probably just going to run down a couple matches and do some rapid fire predictions. I mean, the matches night 1 and 2 are pretty much announced. Night 1, we have Bobby Lashley versus Drew McIntyre. Anything, boys?
I'm going Drew McIntyre just because they've put so much work into making Lashley a heel and McIntyre a clear face to make that gimmick that dynamic as black and white as possible. No pun intended. I think that it's going to end with Drew McIntyre being the winner.
Yeah, I know. Yep.
I'll go with the masses on that one, McIntyre.
Yep. Vince ain't keeping a black champ that long.
It's already making a Mancy.
Yeah.
He might steal something. We gotta get the
title. Well, that's okay. They're giving Titus a Warrior Award. He'll feel.
Oh yeah, the guy that almost got fired.
Black man gold. You can't give him a championship.
Can't keep it on too long.
This company that's black and gold is NXT.
We gotta have the white superhero beating the bad black guy.
Yeah.
What about these two women though, Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair? This is probably the match that I'm most excited about.
Yeah, I feel like Sasha historically has dropped title a lot, really quickly, but she's held onto it for a while. So I think it's about time for her to lose it again. So I'm gonna go with Bianca on this.
Oh
one.
yeah, Bianca's better than that. Yeah,
Yeah.
Bianca's got that.
Hmm.
What do you think, Steve?
I'll go Bianca.
You got to remember, this is WWE booking, so it's gonna
It's
be
true.
It's
You
gonna
know,
be
yeah.
it's gonna be
Yeah.
too obvious. They're not gonna do anything surprising.
Prediction
Yeah.
rule number 1: don't think too hard about it.
Exactly.
Especially WWE. I haven't, just like them, I haven't invested a lot of time into the stories, so it's hard for me to really put a lot of thought into it.
Yeah.
True that. Well, what about Bad Bunny versus Miz? Miz, the smartest man in wrestling, probably will have the most money by the end of his career than any other wrestler without
know who
doing
lo-
anything.
Do you know who loses that match? All of us.
Yeah,
True.
the whole wrestling world.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm gonna go Bad Bunny
Yeah. I was actually gonna pick
with help from Punishment
Damian.
Martinez.
Yeah.
Yep,
Payne Hernandez is going to help him.
yep.
Yeah, I'll go Bad Bunny.
I could totally see that. And somehow the Miz's dad will get involved.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd love that. I hate this kind of music.
And Bad Bunny wins by surprise roll up.
Trump 24/7. Trump 2020, 2024.
Yeah. Our truth wins.
Okay, what about this though? The New Day versus AJ Styles and Omos. This is the
Omos.
weirdest pairing, AJ Styles and Omos.
Dude,
Like,
I
His
love
debut.
I love this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is his first match. I'm gonna
Yeah.
go AJ Styles and Omos in this one because it just the New Day can afford a loss. And I feel like putting the tag titles on AJ Styles and Omos gives AJ something to do, and it gives Omos an excuse to be in the ring more. Which I mean, the guy's just massive. Like, put him in the ring. Let's see some action.
I'm going New Day because WWE is corny and they like having they want to put smiles on faces and they want people to go home happy. So it's going to be the New Day.
Well, yeah, that's a good point, Charlie. And if they're going to make Bobby Lashley lose, it's like, okay, well, we need to have
Yep.
a black team win somewhere.
Yep. That's
I am going to give the people what they want, though, and side with Matt on this one and go almost an AJ.
I hope I'm wrong, but I'm just going. I'm doing it on what I feel how they would book it. Yeah, if they're smart, that's the way to go. Put it on AJ and almost for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna get our classic Shane McMahon in a cage,
Oh,
so we can jump off of something high at WrestleMania once a year.
the stunt,
versus Braun
the stunt
Strowman.
moment.
He's jumping off the ship they're building.
The Jackie Chan of WWE, Shane McMahon, does his own stunts.
It's not even interesting anymore.
Nope.
Nope.
I wasn't interested the last 2-3 times either. Like, oh, Kerry, we know this whole match is building towards the moment. Here's the moment. Jumps on a pad, match over.
The last one that I was interested in was when he was when it was versus the Undertaker in like that 30-foot Hell in the Cell or whatever that was.
I was just
That was
about to say the
huge.
same thing. Yeah, that was awesome. Partially because it hadn't been overdone yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Big time. And he brought his kids out there, which made it even more scary. Like, brought him out like, this is a really special moment. I could die, guys.
my
but you get
kids
to
to
walk
be there.
down the rump. Yeah.
Yeah, he wants his kids to be there when he becomes a quadriplegic.
Yeah. But you can run down the ramp with daddy. Braun, what do you guys think? Braun Strowman?
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if Shane won, honestly. And it was basically like the moral of the story is bullies always win.
But the cage is there to prevent interference from Elias and Jackson Third Riker.
Yeah, I'm still going with Shane winning. Just it's WWE, and they've buried Braun beyond belief at this point.
Break glass, pull out McMahon in emergency.
Yep.
I'm gonna go Braun on this because, my God, I mean, just if he can't win this match, then they should just release him because then the character's dead if he loses this match.
Yeah. Agreed.
Charlie?
Braun Strowman's winning that.
Okay.
It'll be Shane. Shane will get over, but Braun's going over. He'll get over with this stunt.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have like a decent night one of action. I think that there's a good balance in this. I think night two is going to bring a lot of good stuff. We have Asuka versus Rhea Ripley. I'm excited for this one. I think Rhea's going to win.
Yeah, I think Rhea has to win. She lost last year against Charlotte, and she's sort of been floundering ever since then. Like she was on a high when she won the NXT Women's title. Now it's like, yeah, they got to put a belt on her. So yeah, I'm picking Rhea.
I'm going Asuka.
Nice.
I think it'll be a good match. I think Asuka will win. And I don't know, is Becky coming back anytime soon?
I don't know. Maybe this is where we see the return.
Yeah, because then I think Asuka Becky would be the way to go. So I'm going to predict that and say Asuka wins.
Interesting. Charlie, you got anything?
Which one? For Asuka and who?
Asuka and Rhea Ripley.
Oh, yeah. I'm
Doing the math.
I'm going to go with Rhea. They'll probably move on from Asuka.
Oh, boy. I'm the only one that picked that one.
Yeah, I think they're moving on. They got to start using her anyway, so you can't really use her coming in off of a loss. So
True. And I mean, you got to free up the belt off of Asuka to bring up Io Shirai to do Kabuki Warriors 2.0.
That's right. I like it.
We do have another match between Big E and Apollo Crews.
Yeah, not
for
just
the
any
Intercontinental
match.
Championship.
what was it? Nigerian? What kind of match?
Yeah, what is it? It's something crazy.
It's something Nigerian something.
Fails.
night-
Fastlane beaten once after the match, leading it to. It doesn't. The
Hold on.
website that I'm using doesn't have anything.
It's a Nigerian
stipulation.
drum fight.
Yeah, that's what it is. Nigerian drum fight. Yeah, some kind of Nigerian.
What the hell's a Nigerian
Shaka Zulu
drum
is
fight?
the guest referee.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Oh,
you
they're
remember?
really-
Do you guys remember when Tony Atlas came back in WWE as Saba Simba or something like that? Like he had this long history with the company as like a former champion and all that, and then they bring him back as this new character, Saba Simba. Maybe he'll come back.
Well, regardless of whatever happens, I don't know. I'm actually going to go with Apollo on this one. I think Big E's held the Intercontinental title for a while. He's done a good job with it. I feel like in a Nigerian drum fight, Apollo has to win. And then it gives Big E a chance to do something different, maybe work his way up.
Yeah. Apollo Crews actually works out with Moose from Impact. I guess they're really good buddies. I've been following Moose on the Keep the Kayfabe Instagram, and yeah, I guess they're boys. They work hard and they play hard. Yeah.
Well, I'm going with Big E is another. He's gonna go home. He's gonna go home with happy faces. If I was booking, he definitely would put Apollo over, but he's sticking with they're sticking with the New Day. Dude. Yep.
New Day rocks.
Yep.
No, I'm going Big E too. I think, but you guys are already predicting too many title changes for one card. So yeah, Big E's gonna keep the title. And Vince will lose interest in Apollo Crews like next week.
Oh yeah, exactly.
There's another title on the line, Riddle versus Sheamus.
Ugh.
A match that I would love to care about for the United States Championship.
The best thing that you can say about it is that it's probably going to be a very good match. Like in ring, it'll be great, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sheamus has
Maybe.
had a lot of good matches.
Maybe.
So,
Dude, they're killing Matt Riddle's character. Do you see? I just saw that. So I was making things. They had him come. He's riding like a scooter, like one of those little push
Yeah,
scooters, like
razor
like-
scooters.
Yeah, they're
like
trying to be
like a
too
12-year-old
corny.
would ride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
But-
Vince's idea on what like a stoner would be or something.
Yeah.
yeah. So, Charlie, before you get too far into that, I just want to let our audience know by announcing that it's now time for Charlie's Corner. Charlie,
Yeah, well,
tell us your thoughts on Matt Riddle.
they're wasting it. I happened to catch a clip of Matt Riddle versus today Will Ospreay, and it's the matches. I mean, I caught parts of it. I'm gonna go back and watch it. It shows how awesome Matt Riddle is. You know, he was using his knee straight, and just to see what he's doing on here, it's just a fucking mess and a waste of a great wrestler that could be anywhere doing something better. You know, it's just a joke, dude.
And did you see the clip, Charlie, of Matt Riddle forgetting his lines and just walking off camera?
Saw that part. I actually kind of caught that live when he did that, dude. I'm like, what? Yeah, he's like, I forgot or something. Like, I can't remember. It's just so bad what they're doing to the guy.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the epitome of going through the motions for them.
But I guess he's getting, you know,
collecting a paycheck.
He re-signed, so he obviously is getting paid for it, and he's enjoying. He's enjoying making the money, so
it's like Nakamura. I think he's given up any like crazy ambitions in life, and he's just it's a steady place. I think he likes living in Florida.
Florida,
And I think you just hit a point later in your career where, in his case,
now it's time to make money. I built my legend. So
Riddle's gonna just keep the cash for a while.
Yep.
And with that, this has been Charlie's Corner.
Yeah, and open the corner back up for 1 second too, and then I saw
and back to Charlie's Corner.
Yeah, then I saw here on Raw too. They had something about they had Lashley. He was jumping on the two dudes, the tag team dudes in the Hurt Business, and beating them up. I don't know why. It's
breaking
why
them up for the sake of breaking them up.
Yeah, for no reason. That was like one of the. I mean, I haven't watched it much. People were saying that's like one of the only hype. Was one of the better teams on the show. You know.
Yeah. It's one of the few things Raw had going for it, and they jettisoned it after a couple months.
Then after Monday, when he loses that title, the Hurt Business broke up. So where do they go then? Lashley's gonna go back down to mid card, doing nothing. You know, then Shelton and what's his face will be wasted. You know.
And with that,
has
been Charlie's Corner.
Don't forget the Fiend versus Orton coming up.
So
Mania match too.
I will get the predictions. I'm going to say Riddle wins, but they could throw the curveball with Sheamus winning just as like a reward for all this hard work. But I think Riddle will win.
I'm going to agree with Steve actually, that Sheamus has been doing a fantastic job. But I think they're going to put the title on him. And I know you're predicting all these title changes, but
I think he's probably too. Yeah,
I think Sheamus has had a lot of really good matches with Drew, and
I think
he needs at least a mid card title at this
point. He's getting that title. He's done all those jobs to what's the other Scottish dude? Drew. So he's getting the title.
Yeah,
you think Sheamus is getting a title?
Oh yeah, Sheamus.
Dang.
Yeah,
I should have went all the way on that, but I'm not going to change my pick. I'll say Riddle, but I think you guys will be right.
And with Riddle's botches lately, that's also my.
That could be too. Yeah.
Well, and we do have to keep in mind too, this is the first time that WrestleMania is going to be on Peacock. So anybody who already has Peacock and does tune into WrestleMania, maybe they do want these title shifts to go on to somebody brand new for a new live audience that subscribes. So it's like, okay, you can start from day one now. This is what this title is. This is who it's on. You don't know who he is yet, but here they are. And then go from there. Tune in next week. So
that's a fair point, man.
So we'll see. I think they'll be. I think Sheamus is going to win also, just because they've been liking him a lot lately. I'm usually a Sheamus hater, but I'm actually happy for the guy that he's not getting, not totally shit on lately, and he's paid his dues enough and done a lot of stupid bits and been a part of a lot of dumb pairings and a lot of squash matches and shit,
like by WWE standards, it's like you want to be. I mean, I want to be just kind of completely bored by the guy and like think he's overdone, but the bar kind of overachieved. That should have never worked as well as it did, and those guys won the titles left there. So Sheamus. I mean, you do gotta give a little bit of an MVP to Sheamus that he's busted his ass year after year, and he's had a hell of a career.
True. Real quick before we get to Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton, if you guys want to weigh in real quick, Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn. I thought they weren't ever supposed to wrestle one another again, but fuck that. It's WWE.
Yeah, slap that one together with no real reason other than that they know they'll put on a good match.
Yeah, the definition of no build. I'm going to go with Kevin Owens on this one just because he's also had a lot of really good matches lately.
In
And
defeat.
I feel like at the moment he's more of a face than Sami Zayn.
Right. I think it's going to be Owens too because he uses the Stone Cold Stunner. Again, it's a new audience and they remember the Stone Cold Stunner from years past. If they see it again in the announcers pop, maybe it'll more people will want to keep watching because again, it's all about money. It's all about eyes on the product. It's really not even about what we think or who should win. It's all what's pads the bank account, as they say.
True. I'll go Owens too because I think Sami Zayn's got like sort of that heel character down, and I don't think wins and losses really matter much to that character right now. I don't think he fills a role, he fills it well. He doesn't need the way they have him. He doesn't need to go over hardly at all.
Mhm.
So I think Owens needs it more.
Gotcha. Charlie, do you got an opinion on this one?
Who's Owens wrestling again?
Sammy.
Zane?
Wrestling for nothing.
Yeah.
Owens. Owens.
Yeah. Your man, Kevin Steen.
Yep. Steen. Kill, Steen, kill.
So now, finally, we get to see Randy Orton versus The Fiend, the Marshmallow Man, the Burnt Michelin Man, The Fiend, with Alexa Bliss probably too.
I'm sure. Prominent.
So, I guess Fiend.
Fiend. It's Fiend.
Fiend. Yeah.
They gotta build him back up, and Randy doing a job doesn't make him better, doesn't make him worse.
He's Randy freaking
Just
Orton.
makes him Randy, a guy that
Dude.
they try to make you believe is this all-time great, but just
You know who
He's
we were just
okay.
who we were just
I wouldn't
talking
call him
about.
all-time great.
We were just talking about Matt Riddle. Is Matt Riddle the new Randy Orton? Like
No.
somebody who had a great young, like as a kid, young career, good
I
body,
I
a
never
lot of
thought
potential.
I never thought of Randy Orton as a great, he's a good worker. I never thought of him as like put it this way. If you had $20 to spend and you had to go see Randy Orton in his prime or Matt Riddle in his prime, you can only see one shows at the same time. Who are you spending your $20 on?
Yeah.
It's hard to
Riddle.
say.
Riddle. Easily Riddle, dude. Easily Riddle.
Well,
Plus,
okay.
plus the little
but
I've
hey,
seen.
go
Okay,
back. Riddle is current now, though. Randy, you have to think back 20
I'm thinking
years.
back.
when
I'm
his prime
thinking
was.
of back.
He
I'm
wasn't
thinking of
that great.
evolution.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
thinking
same
of
here.
everything. I'm thinking I'm in their prime.
And Matt
I'm-
Riddle.
yeah.
And I'll be the first to admit I could go either way on Matt Riddle. Like I think he's solid, but he's not one of my favorites.
Yeah,
but,
exactly.
But his man, he's interesting in the ring. And I
Yeah.
think that's the difference. He's a little atypical.
go back.
I've
yeah.
seen better matches out of Matt Riddle in his short
Go
time
back.
already than any
Yeah.
match I could point out in the past on Randy Orton.
You go back
Randy
and watch.
Orton, yeah, Randy Orton to me is like a Dolph Ziggler.
Go
You
back
know
and-
they're gonna put a great match in, but
Yep.
who cares?
Who
It's
cares?
like it's bland.
Go watch Riddle versus Thatcher and
Yes.
the NXT, and you tell me who's better, who you'd
Yeah.
rather go see. Come
Oh,
on.
Totally.
I'm
real.
no, I'm for- I'm for real,
I'm
real.
just saying. Yeah, I know.
I'm
I
for
know.
real. I
Yeah.
would still choose Riddle just by his move
Sonic.
skill set.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
His
That's-
bro
yeah.
rider.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I don't
It's
think
different.
Randy. I'm just trying to set it for the listeners. Like when it was Randy Orton? When was his prime? Because I feel like we're seeing
Well,
Riddle's prime right
I would
around.
think. I think the prime would be the later evolution, and then what
Yeah,
was
later
the
evolution
legend
when he got
killer,
out of
the legend
Legend
killer stuff.
yep.
Yeah,
When he was beating all the legends, that's his prime, and it was like, okay, cool,
Yeah,
no big
exactly.
deal.
the
I'm just
RKO.
saying,
The way that they announced the RKO was literally
some of those
what
moves
only
are
made
cool. Yeah,
him.
some of those RKOs out of nowhere were cool, but it's like,
Mhm.
but
yeah.
they're cool, but they're. I mean, obviously you can't compare them to Stone Cold, but when Steve would hit a stunner, it'd be like, oh shit, oh, that's fucking awesome,
Mhm.
But you hit RKO out of nowhere, like it's cool, but
Yeah.
all Steve Stunners were the shit, dude.
So-
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm picking the Fiend for sure. I'm
Yeah.
even going to double down on it. I'm going to predict it's a Firefly Funhouse match again, just like
I think it's recorded.
yeah.
Yes.
But
Yeah, I
Nick,
think
but,
so too.
But Matt, if you had to see which one in your prime would you pay to go see?
Oh, Riddle, hands down.
Okay.
And I like you, Charlie. I also watched during the Evolution years with Randy Orton.
Yeah,
and
I
he
was
just-
never impressed.
He always had that go away heat for me.
Yeah,
even 20
exactly,
years ago.
exactly.
He kind of was what Vince McMahon wanted Roman Reigns to be too. Like kind of force fed, like this guy's got a great body, comes from
Good
Oh,
stock. It's cowboy.
OVW.
Cowboy. He's
Yeah.
Cowboy's son.
Yep.
He's good. He's
He's a
good.
legacy kid.
Don't get me wrong. He's good, but
It's just
to me, he's okay. Nothing special.
We've gotten to a
came
point
in-
where there's so many good in-ring performers that it's not being a good in-ring
You gotta have something
in-ring
to stand
performer
out,
is
yep.
enough. And that's
Yep.
why I keep bringing up Ziggler. It's like everybody, Ziggler always puts in good matches, but at the end of the day, his character's been boring for so long that he doesn't feel consequential. And I
Yep.
feel the same way with Randy.
Yep.
It's just he hasn't had to me an interesting character and maybe ever. That I don't care that he puts on good matches. So does Sheamus. So does all these other people we mentioned. That everybody seems to instead say Randy's like the greatest. Why?
You're right. And I think what would Randy Orton be doing if he wasn't a wrestler, or his dad wasn't a wrestler? I mean, the guy he doesn't seem bright. He doesn't have
He
like a
said some-
personality.
He said some
I can
things
s-
in the past that and I think that's part of why I don't like him. I know, he's
Right.
come around more recently. He's sided with for example, Black Lives Matter, but in the past he was not. He was like all
Oh,
lives
yeah.
matter guy. All
Oh yeah,
lives matter.
totally. Yeah.
So I
Yep.
think in some cases he's either because he really thinks that way or he's smart enough to know that you're going to get in trouble. But he's had questionable views on things. He's
And-
he's still technically one offense away from being kicked out of the WWE for the substance abuse thing, but I'm sure that one gets glossed over.
Yep.
He's been shitty to fans publicly on numerous occasions as well too.
Yeah.
So he's not a very likable person. There's just really like you guys. Like when you made that proposition, Charlie. I mean, I was just trying to give Orton some kind of benefit of the doubt,
Yeah.
but no, I'm never gonna find it.
Even if I went in the
So-
future and even if I went ahead in time and saw that he won this match, I'd still come back and pick the Fiend.
Yep.
I won't pick Randy Orton to win ever.
And that's the way we like to keep it here at Keep the Kayfabe.
Yeah.
We are
we're-
open haters on Randy Orton. And Randy, if you want to come in and settle some scores, why don't you call?
Come on down to
Us.
Bayview.
Yeah.
Come on the line.
Or wait,
Set
are
us
you gonna
straight.
or are you gonna have your dad call for us?
But he's busy. on Monday nights.
Yeah.
Oh, true.
Throwing up black stuff out of his mouth
Yeah.
and being scared of Alexa Bliss.
This is an
Yeah.
audio podcast. Your black bile won't even be seen.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, hopefully this WrestleMania isn't a bunch of black bile. I sincerely hope it's good because it is WrestleMania. It's supposed
Still
to
got
be
one
the
more
best.
match. Did you know that?
What's up?
I felt like you were wrapping up there, and there's still another match, isn't there? The main event,
Wasn't the main event
the triple
no.
threat.
Oh,
Yeah, the triple threat.
I'm sorry.
Daniel
Oh, yeah.
Bryan.
Well, there we go. That's how
WrestleMania 37,
that's
the
how
most
invested I am.
forgettable WrestleMania.
Yeah, exactly.
bad, yo.
There's something telling about that, I think.
Right? Yeah. No, sincerely, skip my mind. I was gonna save it for the end, but
It's a shit
thought we
show.
did a good enough job ripping on Randy. So Roman Reigns versus or
Edge.
Daniel Bryan and who?
Edge.
And Edge. Yes, that's right. Okay. I mean, it's got to be Roman Reigns, right?
It sure seems like it. No?
No,
Daniel Bryan.
I think Daniel Bryan, dude.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like kind of as a swan song because he's been indicating he's gonna stop being full time pretty soon.
Yeah, I think they might give it to him because I'm just going on WWE booking with the two heels versus the one face, odds are against him, so they'll probably give it. He's going to be and he's going to transition it either back to Reigns at some point, or transition to someone who Reigns is going to beat at some point. That's my belief.
I was gonna actually say the same thing for the same reasons. I hadn't really thought about the fact that
This is
Reigns
too
and
obvious.
Edge are both heels now.
Yeah,
And it's annoying to me because this is exactly what they did at WrestleMania 30.
Yep.
Same story. Although I will say I'm glad to see Daniel Bryan get put in this position. I mean, I feel like they've kind of been leading us to feel that way because you think back to the Rumble, and then when he had that good match with Roman, it's got to be Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, I think
if it's
too.
Edge, I'll
It
be
won't be
pleasantly
long.
surprised.
Yep.
But we'll see.
Because I think if they would have just kept it as it was, if they wouldn't have tried to screw with Edge, it was definitely going to be Edge to get it. But maybe the transition is Bryan gets it, then he loses to Edge. He loses to Edge one-on-one. But I think they'll take it off Reigns for a little bit, and then they'll come back to him for sure this year. But it's a matter of when. But he's definitely, I think my opinion is transitional. But this is me booking it. But I think I wouldn't be surprised if Reigns runs it. But I think they're going to move and get it back to him eventually. But I think they're going to go with Daniel Bryan, the hero story. Is that the second night that match is?
It's the last match.
Yeah, so they're going to want to go
And
out
on a
with
high note.
Yep, they're going to want to go out with the fireworks and the stars and stripes and all that stuff. So it's going to be Reigns. It's going to be Daniel probably.
So
They want
Bryan-
the crowd. They want the crowd cheering. They want the good
first
video
crowd
for
back.
it. Yep, they want the explosion. They want everybody. They want smiles on faces, and so
That's
There
really hard to argue.
yeah, we've seen it all, dude. I've been seeing this shit booking for the last 30 years, dude.
When's
I
the
know how
last
it
time?
goes.
Yeah, when's the last time a heel went over at the end of WrestleMania? Was it when Rollins cashed in? But even
Maybe,
then,
yeah, that
even
might be, yeah.
then, it was
Yep.
barely. That was like the crowd loved
Lesnar.
it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Lesnar
So-
on Undertaker.
Yeah, that wasn't the main event though.
That wasn't the main event. Yeah, that was just a match.
Oh,
Yeah.
true. You're right.
So no, boy, it's hard to argue that.
They go back to
I'll just go with what I was going to predict, and I'll freely admit I'm probably going to be wrong. I was thinking that Edge would win.
eventually, yeah.
I think Edge will win, but
He was a face.
I think at the end of the match, it'll be like the emotions of like going for the title that made him a heel, but like he'll end the night a face.
Nah, they're too dumb.
Am I giving him too much? Am I booking
they're
too
not
smartly here?
They're not good enough to book that with one show left before they
Right.
go live, dude. And I think
I'll-
they're taping SmackDown early to get everybody down there. So I think
Sure.
SmackDown's probably either going to be taped tonight or tomorrow night. Probably tomorrow night.
Yeah.
And I just bought a head of the table T-shirt too.
Did you really?
No,
Oh, I was gonna say, dude. But
they abandoned that pretty quickly.
Yeah.
As much, they just beat that dead horse like crazy.
Yeah.
But well, that'll wrap it up.
Did you write the picks down, Mike?
I didn't write them down.
Oh, okay.
We recorded.
Because we don't
But
care
Matt-
that much.
Mike, did you make a prediction on that match?
Yeah, he picked Brian.
I think I said
Daniel.
Roman Reigns.
Oh.
I said Roman Reigns off the
You
top.
did, okay.
Since we weren't really like
I
locking
wouldn't be
in.
surprised.
You
Yeah,
did.
I wouldn't be
Yeah.
surprised. I
So
wouldn't be. I think anybody but Edge is getting it that night. But I did have a feeling Daniels will.
I didn't write down the predictions because records don't matter in WWE. They only matter on AEW.
That's
So
right.
That's where they count.
Fair enough.
And apparently in
if we-
WWE, WrestleMania doesn't matter this year.
Yeah. If we want to have a belt for WWE prediction shows, it'll probably be as meaningful as the 24/7 title.
I was gonna say it will be the 24/7 title.
True. Well, awesome, boys. Yeah, that about does it for this week's episode. It was really great hanging out, chatting to see how WrestleMania is gonna go down. So we have Raw tonight. We have I think NXT is tomorrow.
It is.
Is it not?
Tuesday?
Yeah.
I believe. Yes.
Oh, is
And
it
that's
Tuesday,
set-
Wednesday? What? So what? No. It's nope. I think
No.
tomorrow.
Oh, the Hall of Fame's tomorrow.
Tomorrow's Hall of Fame. Then it's Wednesday, Thursday NXT.
Right.
Oh, right.
Very good, Charlie. That's what I mean. So we
Yeah,
have like
'cause I
a
thought
week
that too,
straight of
Matt,
wrall
earlier. Yeah, and then I
Yeah.
saw. Yeah, I thought that too. They
So
taped
Hall
the
of-
Hall of Fame stuff last week, I guess.
Hall of Fame on Tuesday. They're probably still editing the Great Khali speech. Then we have
Translating it.
Stand and Deliver is
God.
NXT is Wednesday and Thursday.
Correct.
Plus AEW Dynamite is on Wednesday. Then we have SmackDown on Friday,
Yep.
right? And
Yep.
then it goes to WrestleMania on Saturday and Sunday, which then will have a capper show. Usually Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania is one of the better shows. So, hey, if you want to watch some wrestling, you know where to find it. You can't miss this week. So, awesome. We'll be paying attention and we will report back here for another episode. Thank you all so much for listening and tuning in. Follow us on Instagram, follow us on Spotify, and where you can hear great podcasts. Boys, it's been a pleasure. I want you to stay humble, stay hungry, and stay hard.
Triple H.
Always keep the kayfabe, boys.
Always.
Oh,
Peace.
Remember